Welcome back to Invest Global. Today we're actually going to take a little bit of break from what we normally cover with altcoins and other things in the cryptocurrency market and just focus on this news story from Turkey. Now, I'm currently here in southeastern Turkey near the border of Syria, and there's been a lot of problems over the past month with the Turkish government. Some say they want to ban it outright. Some people just say they want to regulate it, but they've kind of reached this middle ground. And the problem is a lot of these exchanges in Turkey, these centralized exchanges, even though this is called Thodex, kind of alluding to the point that it's a decentralized exchange, which it's not. The fact that anyone can get arrested means that it's not a decentralized exchange; it's a centralized exchange. We'll basically be focusing on this article today. But the point is that so many people are so focused on this regulation and on this ban, and it is very important. But when people start panicking, when you really see this kind of like blood in the streets, that's when you really can see who these people are at the end of the day. It's easy to run an exchange when everything's hunky-dory, everything's good, there's no regulation, nothing like this. But when kind of the walls come crashing in, you get to see what people are when they get under pressure. It's the saying, diamonds are formed under pressure. So you get to see move the gems from the dirt, the rocks. And you get to see, okay, how are these things going to emerge over the next 10 years? That's always my minimum time horizon with really any investment. So many people just get caught up in, okay, just for this month, what's the best altcoin for this month? Any altcoin, when I'm ever talking about a time frame, it's me wanting to average in this time frame, or me saying maybe you should consider averaging in. Obviously not financial advice, but you should at least consider this opportunity to average in and have a long-term time horizon on this. Obviously you should de-risk, pull profits with different projects like I talk about in the video, always linked down below in the description, how to pull profits with altcoins, which I'll probably do an updated version of soon. I recorded that when I was in Durrës, Albania, so yeah, I'll definitely do a updated version soon. That was basically when I was first starting the channel. I think I had like 100 subscribers, or maybe even less than that when I first recorded the video. But the point here is the focus is on this centralized exchange in Turkey where over 62 alleged, so they detained 62 people over alleged 2 billion in Thodex crypto exchange fraud. So again, guys, this is the power of decentralized exchanges. This is why I always default to DeFi. Default to DeFi. Get that, run that through your head. Don't default to centralized exchanges, because that's what people have been, well, really centralization in general. That's what people have been doing throughout all of history. Just study history. Centralization leads to corruption. Absolute power corrupts absolutely is a true statement. But when you have decentralization, when you have this autonomous, basically like a decentralized autonomous organization or a DAO in the crypto space, is very powerful because you have governance rights. All of the users are able to vote like in a democracy, a proper democracy. And basically with this, the problem is it's centralized. That's the deal. And when you have centralized authority, you have biases at play. You have human emotion. You have no human is infallible, so you have human error. But when you move to a decentralized version of this, there's nobody to arrest. You can't arrest code. You can't even shut down this decentralized code, which is a beautiful thing. So even if the United States wants to ban it, the UK wants to ban it, Mexico wants to ban it, Australia wants to ban it, hey, there will always be a country, there will always be a place that's running it. Even if all the countries collectively, which will never happen, ban something, there's satellites. Literally, the beautiful thing about what Mr. Musk is doing and a lot of other companies, things like Starlink, which literally you can have a connection from a satellite. So let's say all the power goes off on Earth. You can have a connection and literally still run a node on the Bitcoin network or still run one of these blockchain projects. And that's, again, the beauty of this space. You don't need any centralized authority. You don't need to ask anyone for permission. But if you're using a centralized exchange, yes, you do. And this is always the risk of using any of these centralized exchanges, guys. Keep that in mind. That's why I focus so much on decentralized exchanges and daily DeFi. And one of the viewers brought this up, this alleged scam, but the $2 billion is pretty crazy. You have to understand, when you're playing in the cryptocurrency markets, there's going to be a lot of problems here, just like with any industry in the early days. Look at anything in the early days. Look at the dot-com boom. What you have to understand with crypto versus the dot-com boom is the dot-com boom was just focusing on the power of the internet, but the crypto blockchain boom that is kind of moving into this Web 3.0 revolution is not only it powered on the internet and powered on the blockchain, but it has the internet to promote it. So back in the day with the dot-com boom, it would be word to word. It would be like, how do you say that? Word of mouth. Sorry. It would be word of mouth, how you get the word out about these things. But with blockchain, you have the internet to promote these things. You have people talking about these in a decentralized manner. That's why I think YouTube and being able to have their own voice and moving on to things like Theta Network. I also put my videos up on the library. How do you call it? Odyssey is another way of saying it. But essentially, you have all these people kind of in this decentralized manner talking about these things instead of, in the other days where you would have to go, oh, the newspaper tells me this is the best thing to buy. No. You can collect everyone's opinions, collect all this data together, and then form your own opinion, create your own thesis, identify a narrative, and move on from there. I talked about in the global investment framework video. So moving on with this story. So Turkish police have detained 62 people as they continue to investigate an alleged exit scam, potentially affecting 391,000 crypto exchange users and roughly $2 billion in investment. Again, guys, centralization. First of all, there's no counterparty risk when you're using a proper decentralized exchange that's actually decentralized. Not something that just says they're decentralized. Like in the name of this, by the way, it's literally whatever Dex, Thodex. So on Thursday, Cointelegraph reported that major Turkish crypto exchange Thodex had abruptly halted trading and withdrawals amid reports of police raids on Friday, in addition to 62 already detained across 8 Turkish provinces, maybe in one of the areas that I'm at. I'm near Göbekli Tepe, and actually after recording this, I'm headed to Mount Nemrut to do a little bit of hiking there and check out what's going on. So I won't make this too awful long. I'll kind of wrap it up here. But yeah, so many different areas in Turkey. Again, guys, centralization. You do not want centralization, especially for this industry. There are some areas where you need centralization, at least kind of as a temporary measure, but ideally we move towards these more decentralized manners. That's essentially democracy is decentralization. It's like the opposite of monarchy, and we've tried to eradicate monarchy for the most part. It didn't end up too well in the history books. Go look at that. On Friday, in addition to 62 already detained, police issued detention warrants for further 16 people, according to the Associated Press. Okay, so Istanbul's chief prosecutor officer, man, I'm glad I got out of Istanbul. Hopefully they're not looking for me. I mean, I haven't done anything illegal, but I'm pretty heavy into investing in the crypto space in all investment sectors. I am very focused on this current bull run, but again, you have to understand, I'm pulling profits from this bull run and diversifying into other investment sectors. I'm not just in crypto. I think so many people think this is just a crypto channel. No. When it's the bear market, I will continue to put out videos every single day on investing. Now, it might be about crypto, it might be about commodities, it might be about real estate, it might be about stocks, it might be about alternative investments, it might be about emerging markets, it might be about traveling. It could really be about anything. But the main thing here is to ride the waves, guys, and to understand how to ride these waves properly without getting your ass kicked like this exchange did. So let's see. Rumors have since been rife that Thodex owners Farouk Faith Ozer has fled the country with the internet intent of defrauding users. Wow, that's not so good. Estimated $2 billion total in crypto, kind of like Mt. Gox, to be honest. While confirming that he had indeed left Turkey for Albania. Wow, it's just in Albania. I just mentioned that. While confirming, okay, let's see. Press. Ozer denied allegations and maintains he has left for legitimate business-related reasons, ostensibly to meet foreign investors. Interesting. Okay. So he has attempted to counter fears of an exit scam by claiming that Thodex is the target of a smear campaign. Okay, we'll see how this plays out. Maybe I'll do a part 2 on this. But contending that trading has been shut down due to alleged cyber attack. Yeah, that's a little fishy. The exchange has the problem in this space is you can literally make a cyber attack against your own company and then claim it with someone else just by using a VPN. That's like literally the problem here. It's actually pretty easy to do. So the exchange has previously announced 6-hour-long maintenance break on Tuesday. Again, guys, okay, the moral of this story is when your crypto, first of all, number one lesson, when your crypto is on an exchange, it is not your crypto. It is the exchange's crypto. So get it off the exchange as soon as possible. That's the beauty about a decentralized exchange, is it's never actually on the exchange. It's in your wallet. And once you swap it, it goes exactly from the exchange to the wallet automatically. The exchange never holds it, okay? When it's doing the transaction, it's just moving on the blockchain. When you're using something like Solana, for example, if you're using, like Radium on Solana or Serum on Solana, it's so fast, 50,000 TPS, versus when you're on Uniswap, even though it is decentralized, you still have that risk of, okay, the transaction could take kind of long. There could be maybe some issues there with slippage and things like this. But again, moral of the story is decentralized finance should be the default. You should default to DeFi. So when you have the option of using a centralized exchange versus a decentralized exchange, pay the fees. Even if the fees are high, pay the fees, because I'd rather you pay the fees than lose everything in a centralized manner. That's why, I mean, you can use Coinbase as an on-ramp. You can use centralized exchanges as an on-ramp, but as soon as possible, ASAP, get that off of the centralized exchange. Because this can happen to any centralized exchange. This can happen to Binance. This can happen to Gemini. I'm not saying it's going to, by the way, but this can happen to Coinbase. Any of these things, and literally all of them, it can happen to. But guess what it can't happen to? DeFi. Okay, so that's all for today's video. I thought I'd address this. Shout out, I can't remember exactly who recommended this, but let me know in the comments if you have any other interesting stories, if you have any questions about this, or any requests for other videos. But like I said, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, like, subscribe button, all invest global, and until next time.